Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I've got 4:29, just a couple more minutes. Oh, here's Jeff too. Yeah, I think we could start anytime.
Okay. Try and keep it short and sweet. Since David, you've been here before. We only have one agenda item, but for the record, it is the May 3rd, 2021 meeting of the City of Charleston's Design Review Board. My name is Erica Chase. The other members of the board with us tonight are Jeff Johnston, Dinos Leolio, Aaron Stevens, Andy Smith, and Michelle Smith. Members of city staff are present are David Meeks and possibly Andrew DeRungs may be joining. We do not have any agenda items that have been deferred and no recusals. I think we're pretty familiar with how the order of the meeting will go, but just brief summary is, David, you'll have your 10 minutes for project presentation. If you need more time beyond that, just let us know. Then we'll have board questions. We do not have any public comments today. And then David will give city staff recommendations, and then any response from the applicant. And then we'll have board discussion and a motion. Everyone could turn off or silence all cell phones. I'm going to skip over public comment items since we have none. David Meeks will be controlling the PowerPoint presentation, which includes everything submitted by the deadline. David Boatwright, you'll have to just ask David to advance to the next slide during your presentation. If everyone could please give their name whenever speaking, video and microphone. It's not applicable. Let's see. I think that's it. Since it's such a short meeting with no public comments, we have an email address and an email for any additional information, and David Meeks will be issuing the results, including staff comments and board motion to the applicant following the meeting. I do want to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded. So with that, we'll get started with item number 1 and our only item, which is, take it back, we have 2 items, but 1739 Maybank Highway requesting approval for the painting of 2 murals at the James Island Center.
I'll just go over, for those who weren't here last time, a little bit of the context. This is the aerial showing where the 2 murals are within the shopping center. Mural A is up to the upper left, and then mural B is more in the middle of the complex and not very visible unless you're inside the complex. And then this is going towards the city on Maybank Highway, and the location of the murals A on your right, and then looking in opposite direction. And the location for the mural. And then just wanted to show you last time, this was the previous submittal and what it currently looks like. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, David.
Okay, thank you. I tried to take into consideration the comments from the board last go round, and the prominent thing they suggested was to go edge to edge with the mural. I thought all the suggestions were an improvement, and so I tried to follow that. I guess I do want to preface my presentation with the fact that these are digitally, constructed images, and it's a pretty new form for me. It's still a little bit of a struggle, but I'm getting the hang of it. But that said, I think there's this differs from, I would say, architectural drawings, which document, exactly dimensions and things. And I like to think with a mural and with the realization of the sketch should be an improvement upon the sketch, if you know what I mean. It's working at a larger scale. And so this is not a documentation of the final product exactly. There has to be a little leeway, a little artistic license, or a little, during the process, I'm going to do whatever I can to make it better, you know, within this general image. There's some, so one of the things that came up was regarding the color. And I think the last version was a little more blue-gray, cooler, you know, in tones. And so here I tried to warm it up a little bit with the clouds and the sky and get some sort of browns and in there. But again, it's not a perfect rendition of the color, you know, but it's a reasonable suggestion. Where, and the other, I believe the other comment was making the base fall away a little bit by just making it a little more monotone. It used to have sort of different tones of gray, and try to match the cornice, the base, yeah, with the cornice color. And I think that does snap it out a little bit. And so I appreciated that suggestion as well. I think there's a few too many birds in this as I look at it today, you know. That can be certainly thinned out, if not, you know, most eliminated. But the other change that, and this was per the client's request, was I had that tugboat in there, which I really liked for the color and also for the utilitarian vibe that, you know, that a tugboat has. But she insisted on a pleasure boat. And so I had to do this big kind of fishing boat that would justify the opening of the bridge for. And again, her dog is represented in all of these things. I think we talked about that before, but I'm glad to answer any questions. I think other than that, you know.
Anything about the second mural, Dave?
Yes. Okay, that was must have been the first one.
Yeah. And then here's the current.
And all I did here was I lightened it up and I went with a few more browns and reds and everything to pick up sort of the brick tone. I think there was a suggestion, or maybe the color was a little bit off. But again, these are digital colors. You know, they'll never have the subtlety and the richness of a painted image. But you know, again, it's a reasonable facsimile. And so I brought a little more light in there. Again, there's the dog. Man, you know, other than that, that's the same. And if you want to look at the sign, we could go to that.
Sure.
That was the original. Nobody liked that it was a sort of a sticker-like thing on that area. And David and I subsequently talked, and I said, well, it's really a hybrid of a sign and a mural. And so if we kept the lettering within the parameters of the sign ordinance, then we could maybe consider the background as separately as a mural or as a hybrid. I think it works so much better that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it, and I'll be happy to respond to any questions when my time comes.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the board?
This is Dinos Leolio. David, thank you. I've been a big fan of yours and always loved the Charleston, America's most historic city, the silhouette. It's just beautifully done. I'm just curious, having lived in that building across from the bridge for 35 years, I do know that sailboats are such a prominent issue as far as the lifting of the bridge, and this is probably way too literal of a question, but I'm just curious, was a sailboat even considered as far as the opening of the bridge? Seems like with the vertical sense of the mast and just its complement to the bridge opening. From an artistic standpoint, I was just curious.
You mean?
As opposed to the pleasure boat?
You mean the sailboat approaching the open bridge
Exactly,
instead of the fishing boat?
exactly.
Yeah, to me, that would be interchangeable. I don't know why I just sort of figured the sailboat might just be sort of lingering, you know, and the motorboats will get through there, and then of course they won't be under sail. They'll be, you know, motoring through there right afterwards.
Right.
I have no objection to flipping those.
Well, and I'm just, it's more of a, just a question to the artist than anything else. I certainly am not, I think the imagery there would be a wonderful improvement on that facade along Maybank Highway. But it was just, I've had a Scud missile pointed at the bridge tender for years because she would always open that bridge just as I was running late for a meeting, and it was always a sailboat that was coming through. So that's why I was just curious.
Yes, so it's more of a social commentary, I guess.
Yeah, more of a social commentary, right?
Okay.
But anyway, if it's still under consideration, possibly consider that aspect. And I do, the other thing on the prior submittal that, David, could you go to the prior submittal? I just love the blue. Was that a negative? And I know it wasn't at the last meeting, and my apologies, but it just seemed like the blue was, but just a question. Again, you mentioned it, and I'm not sure I caught the full content on why it was changed.
Yeah, I mean, now looking at them juxtaposed like we're doing right now, the blue does look pretty nice. I think maybe just my clouds are a little overdone in the second one, but yeah, I forget who it was on the board, but just he questioned the color, and did it really jive with the color of the shopping center, which is, it's hard to say, you know,
Mhm.
hard to say. But yeah.
I mean, and I'm not so sure it requires an answer. I was just curious.
Well, you know, I mean, again, I'd like to think I can, during the process of painting it, have some leeway to skew the colors a little more, you know, and could be done, hopefully done without having have a board meeting about it every time you know, the tint changes, you know. But
and that was another question that I was having. The other mural B, and I guess, David, this is a question for the city, can't be seen really from the public right of way. Is there a reason that it comes before the board?
It's just like any other project. If the property frontage is on Maybank Highway, then we see the whole project.
I see. Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you. That's all my comments.
Any other questions?
I have one question, and it's on the other mural, not this one. If I compare the two murals, it looks like here the corner pilasters have changed to kind of a gray color. If you flip back to the first, yeah, it's kind of light gray and the dark gray.
Mm-hmm.
Would that color transition happen at the corner, and then on the opposite corner, would it be continue back to the kind of lighter gray, or is there? Oh, it's troubling, huh?
Yeah, you mean sort of like over on the let's say the left corner. You mean when it wraps, what would happen? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
right there. Right.
Right. So I don't see bringing it around unless the whole shopping center gets repainted. I just thought if I was going for some consistency, and again, on all three now have this gray, and I'm not even sure that would be something I would do. I think if the board wants to mandate a more unified gray color for the surround, I guess that's something I will tell the client, and they'll be responsible for or not. I mean, I suppose I could do it a small amount like this, but I wouldn't really want to paint it on the Maybank side. They should get a professional painter to do that.
Right. Go back to the previous image, Mr. Meeks. Yeah. Okay.
Here it is, untouched.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I think you were the one that would question the color a little bit on this one. Without staking out a strong position, you just, you threw it out there for consideration. And I did try to, like I said, did sort of try to warm up to the brick in this one more than the Maybank one.
Jeff, any other questions?
No, ma'am. No question.
What else?
Thanks, David.
Sure.
With none and no public comments, David Meeks, staff comments, please.
Thank you, Erica. Don't really have any comments other than observations. Staff supports the revisions made to the mural since the last meeting in February. The colors of the bridge mural A went from blue skies to hazy skies, which seems to fit better with the grays of the overall building colors. Staff likes the building color below the mural that was darkened and changed to one overall color, which makes the mural stand out more. The subject in the center, the dog on the boat, was enlarged and easier to see. The second mural B was lightened, which makes it read better. The building colors around mural B were also changed to one color with the darker gray as in mural A. Staff supports the building color change around the murals. I am off to say I'm indifferent though. Whether this was all dark gray around the murals or the lighter gray. But I think, sticking with one of these two colors would be, or one of these three colors would probably be best to tie in with the rest of the shopping center. And then I also do just point out, I like this sign. I have pre-approved it already, but I wanted to just see how it looked with the rest of the murals. I do think that this one could fit in a little bit better with the other colors. It just seems to be a different color palette. So I was just wondering if, without a resubmittal day, but maybe looking at colors to complement the other murals a little better. But we do recommend approval for murals A and B.
Thanks, David. We are now in board discussion and a motion.
I would, this is Dinos. I would hope that possibly the motion would provide some greater latitude to the applicant, more so than what we typically give architects as the evolution of the artwork is applied. I know it's a wonderfully evolutionary process, and I would like to see that we provide the artist with as much leverage and leeway as possible in the process of the ultimate final solution. My only other comment would, and it's really just, I mean, I guess that's really all I would really want to say.
I do agree, Dinos, with you. And then I also like, especially on mural A, how from the last submittal to the current submittal, the mural now takes up that entire length of the top wall where it did not before. And I also like the way the bottom portion is painted to now kind of serve as a better backdrop to the mural. And I think that's important that that be part of the motion. Is with the approval, I guess, is to make sure that that bottom portion is painted accordingly. But I agree with giving Mr. Boatwright all the latitude he needs.
Mhm. May I ask, what was the significance of the dog? Is that the owner's
It's
pet?
the owner's dog.
Yes, the
But go
owner,
ahead.
Okay.
the owner's deceased dog, much,
Oh,
veered. And, it's just a little comment when I first meet, she kind of threw it out, like, can my dog be in it? Which sometimes a comment like that, I might try to bat it down. But in this case, I thought it gave it a little, a mascot, and it's such a local sort of breed and, feel to it. It gets away from some of the, not the institutional, but just the commercialness of those centers. I thought it creates a nice little
certainly.
tension with that,
Yes. Mhm.
and so that's why I use the dog, and the fact that I use them in all three really kind of ties them together, and I think it's pretty sweet, but
Well, it'll be very nice, having sat at that red light multiple times, to have something to look at now.
thank you. Yeah.
Any
I,
other comments or emotion?
I will gladly take a shot at a motion for approval for both murals, with mural A and B providing leeway to the artist regarding final application in terms of color, as they are working on site particularly, and final subject matter as he goes through the final issues. I do, number one. Number two, the current submittal being stretched across the entire elevation is preferable. Jeff, you made a comment. Oh, the dark gray on mural B,
Mhm.
the application of the dark gray as the perimeter of the mural.
I'm not thinking that's necessary, changing the color of the gray left and right.
Mhm. It kind of sets it off a little bit. Very nice. Anything else? Andy, anything on landscape? Aaron? I'm just teasing.
Dinos, would you mind including in the motion, just at least on mural A, that the remainder of that wall to be painted as shown?
Yes, ma'am. I
In this
think that would be
middle.
a nice inclusion.
Compared to the first submittal.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have a motion for approval of both murals A and B with a couple of board conditions. One, that the bottom base of mural A to be painted as shown in the current submittal, and that the mural to stretch across the entire length of the wall as shown in the current submittal. Two, to give the artist leeway during his final application of the murals as needed. And three, that's to study the application of the dark gray on the border of mural B. I cover it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that. This is Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. I'll now call roll. Andy,
Yes, in favor.
Michelle,
Yes, in favor.
Aaron,
Yes, in favor.
and I am also yes in favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I guess I'll speak to David Meeks about the sign.
Yes,
Sure.
perfect.
Okay, great.
Thank you, David. We'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the April 19th, 2021 meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Dinos. Is there a second?
Like the second, please, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Aaron,
Yes, in favor.
Andy,
Yes, in favor.
Michelle,
Yes, in favor.
and same for me. Yes, in favor. And we are done.
Wonderful. Erin, how you feeling?
I feel great. I feel great.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Just what, 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yes.
Good. Very
Mhm.
good. Wow. Sorry, I know this is probably being recorded, but I had to ask.
No, it's
When do you start your quarantine period, Aaron?
this Thursday is when I'm supposed to. So, yeah, I know, just in time for everything like loosening up and people getting out and about.
Mhm.
Go into hiding, but yeah.
Well, stay healthy.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
A short meeting.
Yeah, great being with everybody.
Yes.
Mm.
All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Okay.
Take care.
Everybody have a great week. Bye.
You
Y'all
bet.
too. Bye.
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 See ya.